And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a very anticipated game called Grimm Forest. From Tim Eisner, Druid City Games. This is a game they've been working on. Man, I saw this game at least a year and a half ago. A lot of talk about it. Now, even though this is called Grimm Forest, it's like based on fairy tales, and it has this almost, there's a lot of grim fables, there's some dark takes to fairy tales. This is not one of those, right? This is, I mean, the stuff in the forest is scary, the witch and the big bad wolf and the giant and all that jazz. But this game is definitely a family game, right? It's for families. It's all the fairy tales mixed together around the three pigs, sort of, where you're building some houses. Here's how it plays. Each player has their own player board that you put in front of them, these beautiful ones. Hey, look at that beautiful candy house, or Rapunzel there, or winter. And so you have your own board in front of you, and you're also going to have a handful of gather cards that are going to match your color. See, each person is going to be one of the four little pigs. Fine, so there's four little pigs. And you're going to get a bunch of gather cards, and they're going to show the four areas here. At the beginning of each round, you're going to put resources on the area: 5 straw, 4 wood, 3 bricks, 1 of each if you're using the market, which I don't think you use in a 2-player game. And so you're going to pick which one you're going to go to. Everyone's going to pick the card at the same time, so maybe I'll go to gather brick. We reveal them. You'll send your pigs out there. If you're the only person to send your pig somewhere, then you get that many resources. If 2 or more pigs send their pig to the same spot, you have to split the resources. So this 4 wood would have to be split 2 to each of these. If 3 people were there, they would each get 1 wood, and you would just leave that the extra wood for the next turn. And if you go to the market, you get 1 of every resource. Great. So you come back home then, and then each player has 2 actions that they can take. So on your turn, one of the actions you can take is you can draw a fable card. Now, fable cards are great because fable cards, you can play those at the beginning of each round with your gather card. You may play a fable card, and fable cards can do all sorts of things. So for example, powerful friends here. At the end of the gather phase, you'll steal a build action from all players who share your location. Take half of the resources rounded down from a location where no one gathered this turn. All players in your location gain 2 resources of the type at that location. So there's all sorts of cool things that you can pull off, but you have to play one of these. Many of the cards have eyeballs on them, and when you play those, you are going to take the matching miniature, like this troll, or the giant, or a wolf. There's a lot of different wolves cards in the game, or the big bad wolf, or a dragon, and put it on that location. It's just there real briefly, and then it's going to do bad things to the people who go there. So for example, the giant, anyone who goes to the giant must discard their friend, all fable cards in their hand, and 1 resource of each type. Sheesh, it's terrible. The giant ate your friend, and your cards, and some of your resources. So that's what fable cards do. So one of the actions you can take is drawing a fable card. Another action can be just taking 1 of the resources that you need. And then finally, you can build. Now, when you build, first you have to build the floor of a building, then the walls, then the roof. It's going to cost 2 of that particular resource. So if I pay, for example, I have 3 brick, I can pay 2 of those brick and build the brick foundation. You have spots to build 3 houses in front of you, and you're going to build them 1 piece at a time. The floor, the walls, and then the roof. And like I said, there's 3 different types. You don't have to build the same type. You can build all 3 wood if you want, or you can build all 3 brick, but that's completely up to you. The big bad wolf does not apparently care in this particular game whether or not you are building the same thing or not. So you have these build locations in front of you. And I apologize, you can actually be building 5 houses of each type, not 3. But the first person to build 3 houses is the winner of the game. So you're going to want to do this. When you build the wall section of any particular house, you will also draw a friend card. There's lots of friends in this game. Rumpelstiltskin, Jack the Giant Slayer, the Gingerbread Man, who apparently you cannot catch. Goldilocks, who's a thief. Aladdin, who is, I don't like him either. Fairy Godmother, who only shows up when you don't need her. Little Mermaid, who doesn't appreciate the things she have. Robin Hood, who's a thief. Pinocchio, who's a liar. The Huntsman, who kills innocent wolves. Sleeping Beauty, who's really lazy. Okay, anyway, each of these that you take will give you a special ability. Like this guy gets a straw, and then he can turn all straw into something else. That's fantastic. So you have these. Whenever you get a friend card, you can only have one friend. So when I get Rumpelstiltskin, I'll take him, right? He's great. Later on, I get Jack the Giant Slayer. I'm like, I want Rumpelstiltskin. So if that happens, you give that friend card to someone else. Or maybe somebody else will draw Thumbelina, and they don't want Thumbelina, so they give her to me, and then my good old Rumpelstiltskin has to go away and spend the rest of his days hanging out with Belle or whatever. So anyhow, these friends are special actions that you can take. They don't count as that will give you a special ability, but they're also, if they have a special action on them like Rumpelstiltskin does, that counts as one of your 2 actions you can take on your turn. Finally, the first person to build a house of either of the 3 types will take the first player building bonus, which will give you either a card or resources. It's up to you. You get a bonus from that. So you can get 1 of each resource, 2 Fable cards, or a friend. And at the end of your turn, you move the starting player marker, which, by the way, is this very nice looking book here, to the next player. And everyone gets ready. You seed more resources at each of these spots, and you go again. This will continue until one player has built 3 houses total. 3 complete houses. The first person to do that is the winner of the game. Now, folks, if I was rating this game on components, it is a 10 out of 10. These miniatures are amazing. And what's even more amazing is you don't even use them that much. You might not even get the giant in the game. But you put them in here. And the houses, the way that you build them, I mean, these things are begging to be painted. But they just look gorgeous. The game also comes with a die, which is used in a solo play variant, so you can play that way. The pigs, even though they're miniatures, have these nice big colorful bases, so you can know which pig is which. And, I mean, even the boards here themselves, these are gorgeous artwork. The boards out here are gorgeous. And the cards. Man, I showed you some of the cards, but all these cards have unique artwork on them. I mean, this game is phenomenal. The cards are good quality. And they worked with game trays to make these custom game trays that hold everything with lids that show you what goes in each spot. You put the lids on. All this stuff fits in the box. The box has an amazing game tray inside it where you're going to put the Fable cards. And then when you need the Fable cards, you just push down. They pop out. There's spots to put everything in this box. And then when you're done with that, you'll be able to put some of the monsters go here in the top. And then each of these houses fits here on top like this. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, again, I cannot go on enough about how beautiful this game is. It is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I cannot tell you, folks, how happy I am with this complete package. This may not be a game that I'm going to want to play all the time, but wow, if a family came to me and said, we're looking for a game, I'd be like, Grimm Forest. Okay, so we already talked about the components. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 on components. There's some of the best components I've ever seen in any game. At this point, this is the bar. Not Days of Wonder, but Druid City Games is the bar for components. Theme-wise, wonderful. All the characters make sense. Sending the 3 pigs out. The only thing I thought was funny with the theme is don't you want brick houses? But it doesn't really matter, right? But theme-wise, other than that, really good. The gameplay itself is fairly simple. You're sending people out to get resources. This is not a new concept. This has been done before. You send people out, get resources. You go to the same place as someone else. You got to split them. You can talk trash. Actually, one of my favorite people is Pinocchio. Because Pinocchio says where they're going. That's your thing. And if you're telling the truth, you get more resources. But are you telling the truth? I love that idea, right? And that's a lot of fun. So I like the friends a lot. I like that abilities. There is take that in the game, though. I suppose you could take some of the negative cards out if you're like have a family who gets all sad when you hurt, the big bad wolf. One of them, is it the dragon? The dragon's super nasty when they show up. You can have that sort of thing, and you could take those out, I suppose, but they keep the game flowing. And because this is the kind of take that I can handle, because you see when someone's playing one of those cards. They'll say, I'm playing a Fable card along with my Gather card. You're like, oh, all right. And also, you shouldn't be hoarding resources anyway. You want to build your stuff up. Most of the time, they're not blowing up houses. They're just messing with the resources that you have. So I like that. I also like that the game's simple. You pick this, you put a card down. Where are you going to go? Let's split it with other people. Now you got 2 actions. Draw some Fable cards. Fantastic. Get some more resources. Fantastic. Build up your house. Fantastic. Simple, easy. The friends are cool. The only time the one rule that's weird for some kids I found was if you got a friend, you're like, I don't want this friend because my friend's amazing. Give it to somebody else. Well, it's a good card. And they already got a good card. This is another good card replacing that good card. Okay, I guess I'll do it. And you're kind of just gauging how good a friend is to get rid of them. Still, though, I really hope to see this on shelves at Target, honestly. This is the kind of game where people will be like, oh, I guess I'll try it out. And they will be amazed. So, high recommendation for me. I really like this one. I think it should be in any family's home. Don't get me wrong. Game groups can have fun with this one. It's a light game. Realize it's a light game. But this is one of those games that I would love to see more and more people playing. And because it looks fantastic, because kids will have fun getting into it, and lots of laughter all around. And, I'm just very pleased with this production, The Grimm Forest. Dice Tower Judgment approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!